back to the Cutty and Govy show. Gavy's on the men. Where's your boot, Govy? You don't have your boot on today. I just noticed that.
I took it off because I drove over here.
But don't you have to wear the boot when you're walking around?
I have to wear it all the time, except when I drive.
Right. Unbelievable. Now, did you ever call that ambulance chasing lawyer I gave you?
No.
You're not going to call him?
Nope.
He saw the picture of you. He said you have a hell of a case there, Govy.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Anyway, I'm in a big fight with Govy. Last night, I went to Harry's Bar and Grill after a long, grueling day of work in Palm Beach. And I sat down. These two very attractive females, sat down next to me, took pictures with me, laughed and giggled with me all night long, took pictures. I sent them to Govy. I sent them to Cole, our podcast guy. What are the first words Govy says? They're hookers. He just doesn't believe that any girl would want to talk to me.
Okay, first of all, the thing that he said.
I mean, why is it so hard to believe?
First of all,
that some girl that I'm somewhat humorous and they sit down next to me
because they are 45 years younger than you.
What's that have
45 years younger than you.
Them.
What is a? And by the way, they were very pretty. They gave the first line that they said was, "I just flew in." And
from LA.
And my apartment isn't ready, and I got an Airbnb.
Right.
All right, that's already is like, and then
she had a dog.
But the first thing she had to do was get dressed to the nines to go out to a dinner and sit at a bar. That's the first thing she did when she landed.
Yeah.
And then her good-looking girlfriend,
gorgeous,
also came in, and the two of them were together. She didn't want to stay with her friend. She needed an Airbnb.
She couldn't because the two dogs don't get along, she told me.
And then she called you up later on and wanted to go out later that night.
No, she wanted me to go with them to La Biblioteca. I said, no, I work tomorrow. I go to the gym. I
then
can't
she
do
called
this.
you this morning.
No, she called me from La Bib.
And wanted to know if you have any friend or yourself, if you have a boat, because they would like to go out on a boat the next day.
Well, on Saturday.
On Saturday.
They're not hookers, Govy. It's legitimate.
They are 100% hookers.
They didn't ask me for
any money. They're all over Palm Beach County.
They didn't ask me for any money.
They're not allowed to ask you for money inside the restaurant.
What is that? Is there a sign on the wall?
No, because the restaurant knows that they're there 3 times a week. All they said to these girls are, do not solicit inside the place. You want to make a deal outside the place? You can.
Govy, I didn't buy them their appetizers. I didn't buy them a drink.
And you did buy them a drink.
Wait, long after they're talking to me. They were talking to me long before I bought them a drink. I never paid for their appetizers. Only at the end did I buy them a drink. After I was sure that they liked me for me, not because I was buying them a drink. You're just wrong. Then she texted me today. Do you see that picture? She texted me.
Yeah, anybody. It's very normal for someone to send you a skimpiest bikini out there in this very sexy position.
Because she wanted to go on a boat.
Saying, I want to go on a boat.
Yeah.
22 years old. 22 years old.
No, that one.
I'm sorry, that was 27.
Yeah, she was 27, Govy.
Unbelievable. But you know what? That's what makes America great, isn't it?
MAGA, MAGA. Well, let's talking about MAGA. Let's go back to Elon
First,
Musk.
I got to just ask you a question. Did any other woman in there that was 50, they probably looked at the situation and said, ugh.
I don't even want to tell you what happened.
If they said, ugh, then you did your job.
So at the end, these two girls wanted me to go with them to La Biblioteca. And I said, no, I'm done. I'm going home. And it was relatively late for me. It was like 9:15. So for 2 reasons. Number one, I'm tired. I wake up at 5. Number two.
You didn't want to get robbed.
Number two, in Palm Beach, 9:15 is like done. It's over.
Right.
I mean, wherever you're going, you're wasting Uber money. Okay. You know, nothing's open. So anyway, the two girls leave, and I'm sitting there at the bar. The 3 bartenders, 2 male patrons, and another woman walked over to me and started straight. You know, what's the deal? I mean, they didn't think they were hookers. They thought that these girls.
Because they don't know. They don't know the deal. They don't know the game.
The 2 guys were like on my shit. You know, call me. Let's go out and hang. How often? I said, I don't live up here. I don't
we have a friend, Mitch, who works in one of the high-end restaurants in Palm Beach.
Right.
Send them the 2 pictures. I guarantee
Think he knows them?
I guarantee you he knows their names and tells you that he's in his restaurant 3 nights a week.
Right.
Okay.
Anyway, I think that I've solved this equation. We're going to roll back the clock about a month when Elon Musk and Donald Trump got in this huge fight. and they weren't talking. The bro affair was over. I think I got it figured out because the fight subsided and it basically ended. You don't hear about it anymore. But I think that fight was a fake fight. Elon, the Doge thing kind of burned out at 160 billion. They were talking a trillion. It really didn't work out the way they wanted it to work. Trump was embarrassed. Elon was a little embarrassed. And we want to talk about the Doge guy that got beat up yesterday.
Big balls.
Yeah, big balls. But I believe that fight between Donald Trump and Elon Musk was a fake fight. Like those war words were fake war words so that Elon could get his constituency back to buy the Tesla cars again because all the liberals were burning the cars and the car
And the dealerships down?
and everybody was hating on Elon. He's a pig. He's a piece of shit.
His stock went to what, 240?
Yeah, his stock went to 240 now. I think it's 320 or whatever it is. So I believe that was a big fake fight for Elon to carry back the favor of his fan group, which he has. He's gotten them back.
But didn't the Democratic Party say that it's really price manipulation? Then they were not wrong. Then the Democrats who said they're manipulating the stock is partially true because
why would he want to manipulate it down?
Well, once you saw that it went down, they had to come up with a way to get it back up. That's still manipulating it.
So it was a fake fight to get the stock back up.
Right. So now you're already at the bottom. Now he could tell all his friends and stuff, buy it. It's going to come back up. Same thing.
Could be, maybe. I don't know. But anyway.
You had it figured out until I just wanted to.
Yeah, no, but I think it was a big fake fight. And now, Elon is back to working 7 days a week, sleeping on the factory floor, and the stock's back up.
Right.
So that's all fixed, folks. Trump and Elon fixed that, and Govy didn't didn't even have to get involved to fix that.
Does Elon have anything? Think about this. Aren't they talking about putting a nuclear plant on the moon?
Oh, I don't know.
They are. They're talking about they're putting a nuclear.
How the hell they get it up there?
Well, that's the guy Duffy is for the transportation guy is now in charge of NASA. They are thinking of building. They want to be the first because it's going to be a race to get a nuclear plant up there.
What's it going to run?
I guess to have the energy on the moon to be. They want to build. I guess places for people to live. Like I guess for a little bit. But let's put it this way: if you're the sole transportation guy,
right?
And you're going to be putting a nuclear plant, that means you're going to need a rocket to probably go weekly.
Right.
That's a lot of money for the transportation guy.
But in general, the stock market's going crazy. Did you see Meta and Microsoft this week and everything?
NVIDIA?
They said that Bill Gates, if he hadn't gotten divorced and gave all that money away to charity, he'd be a trillionaire. He'd be the richest man in the world by far. But he gave so much of it away to that Gates Foundation. Then he gave, I don't know, his wife Melinda Gates a whole bunch of dough. And whatever, he's still the third richest man in the world.
Right.
And that Paul Allen, his partner that owns the Clippers, he's got 130.
Not Paul Allen, Ballmer.
Oh, Steve
Paul
Ballmer.
Allen passed away, right.
Paul, but he was Microsoft too, right?
Paul Allen and Ballmer. Ballmer became the president of it. But actually, Oracle, Larry Ellison's number 3 in the world.
But now you got NVIDIA, you got Microsoft, you have Meta. All these stocks are just going so crazy under Trump.
It's all this AI. And by the way...
But I don't understand. Explain something to me because my mind's not big enough for this. So the United States is trying to restrict or control this AI movement and with all these companies. But how's that stop China and North Korea and South Korea and whoever else, India, from advancing their AI?
Well, first of all, they need the chips. So the chips are going to now be produced mainly in the United States.
I got it.
So that's why they're all building in here. That's why Trump is so important to control the chips and to make sure we're the hub of AI. Also part of the AI is you need energy. That's why if you buy a stock...
Yeah, Apple's doing that.
Like
see that stock today? It went up 5 points.
Yeah, and it went up yesterday big time. But that GE Vernova is it does their nuclear energy. If you buy a stock that is
another one of Govy's holdings.
Well, if you buy energy, if you like AI stocks, then go with energy stocks because they're hand in hand. Nuclear energy, GE Vernova, not so much like Chevron.
But let's go back on Elon, the Doge guy. What the hell happened? Big balls. They beat the shit out of him.
He actually goes down as a hero for what he did.
With his girlfriend and everything?
Well, his girlfriend, they were approached by like 15 kids that are 15.
Well, where were they? Were they in a bad neighborhood?
Great neighborhood. How about like right outside basically their offices? So the crime down there isn't
Washington, D.C.
Yeah, it's like right there. It's like that's why you have congressmen are getting mugged. You got the outside the Jewish museum
Right.
there. You got the two people from the embassy that were killed. He
My
told his
son.
girlfriend get in the car, and because he wanted lock the doors, get in the car, and he faced the 15 people alone. And a cop came up. If a cop didn't come up, they could have killed him.
But what provoked the whole thing that he?
They wanted to carjack. They wanted
So
to
why
take
didn't they just give him the car?
You know what? Maybe he thought it would be safer to get her in the car, lock the door, and it would be safer. But a cop,
But
luckily,
like if you're over here at the Boca Mall and somebody comes up to you and wants your Bentley or whatever the hell you drive, are you giving it to him or are
Yeah.
you fighting him for the keys?
I'm giving, but maybe
Why are you even going to fight with him? You have State Farm insurance. Let him get you in the car.
but maybe they
Trade
were
home
going to
for
beat
now.
you up anyway. Because you got to realize something. You're dealing with 14-year-olds and 12 year. You really think a 12-year-old and a 13-year-old is rational and thinking, "Hey, I'm just going to take." No, they might hit you. They could shoot you anyway.
Right.
They might just shoot you because the reason why they have the 20-year-olds, 21-year-old gang members, if they do the crime, they go to jail. Do you know if these people do the crime, they get out immediately?
Well, that's what happened when my car was stolen. The police came and I showed them the video of my car being stolen in my driveway. And the police said, two guys, a car pulled up with three guys in it. One guy got out, checked the car out. Then he got back in the car, and the second one got out and drove the car away. And he said, that kid's underage that drove the car away. That way, if we stop them, we can't arrest them.
Right. Or they could arrest him, but he's out.
He's out.
Right.
Yeah, they can't arrest him for stealing
Right.
a car because he's 16.
Right.
But at 16, you can still
But that's
drive.
the big thing in Washington. That's why it's happening. That's why they had this Judge Janine now, who is the district attorney
Yeah.
general of Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
This is the problem. The problem is all these crimes are being committed by these juveniles. And, they're so lax. They pass these laws that you're immediately let go.
Do you think Trump should take over Washington, D.C.? He wants to federalize it?
Yes.
Really?
Because that's the one. By the way, Washington, D.C. is different than any other city in the United States. He would not be able to do this. So if people say, oh, well, what happens if he does this to Los Angeles or Seattle or Portland or New York? He can't. They have their own laws. Washington, D.C.'s law is the federal government can take it over.
Well, the lines are kind of blurred because you have so much federal property there that has to be protected by the Capitol Police and all the, the Capitol Police is like a giant police force.
They're also allowed to make sure that the roads are properly maintained, that there's no homelessness.
It should be run by the federal
He doesn't
government.
want the trasher. All Trump wants is that if you're coming there to see the cherry blossoms and you're flying in from Tokyo to see the cherry blossoms that they
Boston
gave us
Monument.
as a gift, and you want to see and you want to be able to walk to the Lincoln Memorial, to the Washington Monument, you shouldn't have to see homeless people all over the place, trash and crime. It's the capital of the United States. Clean it up.
So where do you fall, Govy, on Trump's new $200 million ballroom that he wants to attach to the White House? It's a historic building. It's kind of tricky. Like me as a developer, if I went and tried to add on to a historic building, it may take me about 19 years to get that permit.
I don't think I think the thing is, will it look classy? Some people said it will. The other part of that is a lot of the other headquarters around the world, if you go to France or England, they all have places where there's a ballroom that you can go to. He thinks that when they have all these state dinners,
Well, where do they do it now? There's got to be a place.
well, there's also the grass area where they hold those things outside and they want it to be inside. Don't forget, sometimes you have 94-degree temperatures in the summer. You could have rain. They want it to be nice. He's willing to pay the whole thing.
Please. He's not going to pay.
Well, he doesn't have to. He can call up his friends.
Yeah, he's going to get his friends to pay. You think Trump's writing the check?
So let me
for
ask you a
$200
question.
million?
If Elon
Ask
Musk
me
wanted
too.
to, if Elon Musk wanted to contribute to it, and let's say he wanted to pay the whole thing,
$200 million for you.
so what's
That's like
$200 million to him?
Nothing. It's like I'll buy those two girls a drink.
Right. That's what it's like.
Yeah.
So so if you put things in perspective, and and then forever it will be known as maybe the Elon Musk wing.
It's
Why not?
funny, folks. Trump did the same exact ballroom, at least from the pictures that I've seen, at Trump, the golf course, Mar-a-Lago, Trump Jupiter, Trump Bedminster.
He has the blueprints already.
He has the blueprints. He knows where to buy the chandeliers. He knows where to buy the windows.
And he likes
He knows where to buy the chairs. He knows what color carpet to
It's
put.
functional, and he likes it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, listen, he's trying to make change. Here's the one thing about Donald Trump. There will never be someone like him, not only in our lifetime, could be for the next generations, because it took a guy who was a business guy who, by the way, people made fun of that he wasn't
Well, I
that
hope
smart.
You're right, Govy. I
That
mean,
they
this
thought-
guy's doing some crazy stuff.
They thought he wasn't that smart, but he's turning out.
Well, it's only 200 days.
But I'll tell you what's funny. You saw Tim Cook the other day in the Oval Office.
Well, he crushed the guy.
But here's what's funny about Tim. Here's what's funny about Tim Cook. Did you see the documentary on Uber when Uber was trying to expand into China and and all of a sudden he was doing things like outside of Apple, like not really telling Apple everything they were doing.
Right.
And Tim Cook didn't like it, and he called in the guy from Uber and he said, "You got to straighten up."
Derek Karashagi.
Right. And the guy didn't really listen.
What is that his name?
Didn't really listen. And then all of a sudden, Tim Cook calls him into the office and says, "Let me break it to you. I could take your app off of our phones, and you will only have your apps on the Androids. But you will lose every single person who has an Apple phone."
He's a mob boss. He's like a boss. He's
So-
like a mob boss.
So Tim Cook is used to saying to people, I have the power, and you will
crush
listen
you.
to me. He never thought Donald Trump could say to Tim Cook, Tim, I could crush you. So Donald Trump, even though he was this developer and he was this, he now has the power to destroy Tim Cook.
Yeah, but there's no president, at least outwardly. Maybe there are other presidents that inwardly did all this, like, extortion / mob approach to business. Trump is just out and out with it. I mean, he basically said to Tim Cook, "Unless you do this, I'm going to crush you."
Well, let me ask you a question.
Now he's going to make all his glass in Kentucky. You see that?
I saw that for all iPhones and for all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Not just iPhones, anything that takes
Yeah.
glass. Now, a lot of other politicians before, or just politicians, they never worked a day in their life in the private sector, in business and stuff. And they're sitting there trying to cut business deals. Like Joe Biden trying to cut a business deal. Even go back before, Barack Obama trying to cut a business deal. Here's a guy that is a deal maker. So when he sits there and goes up to Europe and he wants to talk about deal making, these other presidents never had that. So these tariffs, listen, all of a sudden, Switzerland and the watches, 39% is not going to work. So there's going to be no Swiss watches coming into the United States.
So how do you survive?
Until it's solved, because it's going to be solved. They already flew over
But
to
if
the
you analyze it, during COVID, let's say a $40,000 Rolex became a $75,000 Rolex during COVID. Then it went back down to $40,000. With this 39%, it's just back to COVID numbers. It's not, it's not that bad. It's high, but it's not like over the top.
Well, watches are already going over retail. So let's say you take a watch that's $14,000 that's generally going for, say, $35,000.
Wait, it retails $35,000.
No, retails for $14,000.
Okay.
But the going price for it is $35,000.
Liquid.
Now all of a sudden that watch, instead of $35,000, is now $40,000.
Okay.
All of a sudden, there's less of a demand. The guy who wanted that watch at $39,000 that's told you still got to wait 6 months to a year, he's happy that everybody jumped out of line and now he can get it. They don't make that many watches. All it does is it lets the guy who wants to pay the $40,000 to get his watch.
So just educate me. If I have $40,000 for a watch, which just seems extravagant to wear a watch for $40,000, don't I have $45,000?
You're wearing a watch for $135,000.
But let me ask you a question. If I have $40,000 for a watch, don't I have $45,000? Or you're saying if I have $40,000 for a watch, I really have $35,000 and I'm stretching the 40 to go to $45,000?
No, some people have a problem with tags. So, for instance, if I said to you, here is a polo shirt, it retails for $100.
A shirt.
A shirt. It's $100. And I had a clearance sale and I said 40 off. It's now $60.
Okay.
You might buy 10.
Right.
You don't know why it's $60. You don't know anything about quality. You just know you like the shirt. It's now $60. Let me buy 10 of them. If I took that $100 shirt and I put a line through the 100 and I said it's now $175, you might say, I'll buy one. Now you still have the
I think
money
that
to
I'm not disparaging you, Govy.
because
I don't
because
think
you
that's
don't
a
want to
good
pay.
example.
Right, you don't
Because
want to buy above retail.
it's just that there's only one polo really kind of shirt, and there's like a million different watches. I
There's
mean,
not a million.
it's
You
so
can't
hard to
get them.
compare. It's so hard to compare. Nobody knows, like what the watch is. It's like if you asked me what kind of watch does Rolex have? I mean, your head spins when you look. There's hundreds of choices.
If someone told you a Bentley just went up $9,000, $10,000 for a Bentley just because it is, the guy who can buy the Bentley can generally afford the other $10,000. But putting this extra price on it, it just might bother him. Some people could turn around and say, if a Nissan gets you to point A to point B, the same as the Bentley, why are you buying the Bentley? Because you like it.
So in your world, you sell used and new watches.
Mm-hmm.
Does that elevate the price of the used watches because the new ones are going up so much?
Yeah. The used watches
so
are set in the market.
if I have a used Rolex watch, it's worth more than it was last week.
Yeah, it could go up daily or it goes up and down like a stock market sometimes.
Wow.
Maybe not as much. But let's put it this way. If a used watch goes for, say, $40,000
Okay.
and a brand new one retails for $14,000, do you really think you're going to be the lucky one that just walks into a store and says, here's the watch for $14,000? Or do you think it's going to go to either their best customers that come in all the time, like they're only getting a couple of them? You think they're just going to give it to anybody that just walks in? It's going to be already sold. It's going to be pre-sold.
When you were getting me a watch, there was a restriction. I couldn't sell that watch.
Right. They don't want you to resell it right away because
You have to sign the warranty card. You have to keep the watch and take the watch.
Well, there's some watch companies that have application watches, which means I have to send your information to the company sometimes, and they have to approve you.
Right.
And maybe you've never owned a watch in this particular company, let's say Patek Philippe or something else. They're not just going to start you off with a tourbillon minute repeater. They might tell you, hey, you got to get the watch with training wheels first. Then you could come back and get that watch.
So what's going to happen, Govy? Does Switzerland come and they do a lot more than watches, don't they? Sell us cheese or something? What else?
Well, pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, pharmaceuticals.
There's banking, pharmaceuticals, cheese, chocolate.
Swiss chocolate.
And they have cars, car parts. Things for airlines.
So are they negotiate or no?
They already are in Washington negotiating now.
Begging.
My guess is it's going to probably be somewhere around 15%. In that neighborhood.
Will that hurt your business? 15%?
I don't think so.
No.
I think look, the tariffs.
Now let me ask you a question. If I go to
Ask me too.
If I go to Switzerland tomorrow, and the trick that I've heard, I've never done this. They go over there and they put the watch on the wrist and they just wear it back to America. That's how they get it in without paying the taxes and all that nonsense.
Well, you're not taking the box back, so if they ask you if you bought anything there, you're either shipping the box empty coming back, but you're not going to wear. You're not going to.
But would I save the tariff money if I bought it in Switzerland, or is Switzerland raising the price too? Because now they
If you declare it, you're going to have to pay the duty.
But I'm not going to declare it. I'm going to just wear it back.
No.
But now that Switzerland has an opportunity, knowing in America it's 39% more, aren't they going to raise their price over there?
They could.
Yeah.
But listen, there's a lot of people, believe it or not, in the watch business, maybe even in the car business, there's a lot of people that move maybe drug money by their watches. Maybe they go up to somebody and say, listen, they need to give a person $150,000 in cash. But they don't want to take $150,000 in cash on a plane, and when you land in customs and you're walking with $150 because you got to declare how much cash you have on you. If you wear a watch over there and you hand the guy a watch, you might give him it's like the same thing. Maybe you give him a discount and say, here's a $120,000 watch. So I'm sure there is some people moving watches that way, just like diamonds, just like maybe cars, And
a watch you can't swallow and shit it out, right?
Right.
Like a diamond.
But you can wear it on your wrist and no one asks you a question.
So what are you doing with your watches? You can't wear them now.
No, I can't wear my...
So interesting, following up on the watches, on my way over here, my brother-in-law is a big Corvette guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so the hot Corvette that was impossible to get a couple of years ago was that Z06.
The one that looks like a Ferrari?
Yeah.
Okay.
So right now, I just saw today, 1,600 are available in America, which is just an astronomical number. Before it was like the Rolexes, there were zero available.
Mm-hmm.
And they're giving $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 off on these cars. So the opposite is happening with American-made product, a car, a Corvette. where prices are plummeting and inventories are going way up.
Well, I just had a friend that that's in the car business sent me a sheet today of car sales
Right.
from 25 to 24, like the exact same thing. The month of July sales,
Yeah.
and sales are up, and
cars?
on cars.
Wow.
And he told me that, like anything, though, the nice car dealerships, the ones that are in nice areas that are high end car dealerships, they're doing well. And the car dealerships that aren't as nice. So let's say you take a Chevrolet dealership, and the Chevrolet dealerships in a good area of the country and a nice, and they're brand new, or they're doing well. And the ones that are in like kind of crappy areas that are like, they didn't fix up their showroom and it's still a showroom from the late 80s, they're not doing as well. So he says it's like, he says it's the haves and the have-nots in the car business.
Yeah, but if you think about it, let's say you're taking a lease on $100,000 car, whatever, pick a car, and lease rates are 8%. So let's say your payment and lease rates go down to 4% on $100,000. That's a lot of money. 4% difference in a rate. That could be
don't
a
forget,
couple $1,000 a month.
Don't forget, on American-made cars, Trump's making it where there is no interest. There's no interest.
Oh, that's true.
So now take off the 8% on the Corvette.
Right.
That's a much better deal than now the BMW and all the other ones. So they're happy.
Did that happen? Did he sign that?
That's part of the thing. It comes into effect.
Oh wow, that's huge.
That's part of the big beautiful bill.
So if you buy a Cadillac, you're going to get
or a Lincoln. They're all good. That's why Michigan's going to be happy. And he's also, by the way, putting in some of the Apple's also building a plant there. Did you see what Apple's also doing?
Yeah.
Building a major plant to teach people how to get into to work for them. Like that's their training facility is going to be Michigan with the labor force of Michigan.
But don't you think Apple needs to come up, when Steve Jobs, he took what was music and merged it with a phone that had music. Then he merged it with a phone that had music and a camera. And then he came out with the watch. What has Apple done in the last couple of years to keep that company alive besides have lots of cash?
Well, I'll tell you what they have in the pipeline.
What do they have in the pipeline? They tried the goggles.
I'm going to give you something in the pipeline.
Go ahead.
How many TVs do you have in your house?
2.
You have 2? That's it?
That's it.
Wow. Okay, most people probably have 4 at least.
Really?
Yeah, most people have 4. Okay.
How many do you have?
4.
Really?
Okay, so now let me ask you a question.
I have 3.
Do you have, are they Samsungs?
Yes.
Okay, they're Samsungs. Now, right now, Samsung is Android. It works off of an Android system.
Okay.
Now, Apple is making an Apple TV that will automatically already be synced into your phone. Like it'll be like easy like it can be. You want to watch TV, your phone becomes your remote control.
I don't like that.
It does everything you want. You want to do pictures.
I'm sitting there with my wife. I'm not married, but I'm sitting there with my wife, and my girlfriend, because I'm a cheater, texts me. It's coming right across on my TV screen.
No, it doesn't have to.
And saying, hey, what are you doing tonight, honey?
No, it goes on your phone, and if you decide to put it on the screen, you can. So you can continue watching.
Well, what happens if you screw up and it goes on the screen? You're screwed.
You got to answer your phone. You're looking at your phone first.
Okay.
So you're not, when you see the phone and it says girlfriend.
Do you take your phone to the bathroom? You're sitting on the couch watching TV with your beautiful wife, and you have to go to the bathroom. Don't you leave your phone like right there?
So what? So it's just ringing. So she's not answering. It's not showing up on the screen.
Okay.
So it's a missed call.
All right.
It's a missed call. Now, let's say you're watching a ball game and you have a phone and you want to talk to the person. A little square will come up that you could see yourself and the person.
I noticed the squares out. Is that going to affect our show?
No. And all of a sudden, you can then talk to the person. All I'm trying to say is, if Apple makes a superior television than Samsung, when your next TV is due, because let's face it, you're not going to buy a TV tomorrow, but let's say the next one you get.
Every 5 years.
You might buy an Apple. Now, think about how many people might buy Apple TVs in the world that they're not even in yet. Apple Cash. How do you know Apple doesn't go into the banking business?
Well, they are. I have Apple Cash.
Okay, but do you have a bank that says Apple?
No. But I have Apple on my phone. Yeah.
Okay, so that's another field that they're in that people don't talk about.
I just think it's remarkable that you and I at our advanced age are gripping this technology.
We're like holding on though. We're holding on. Did you ever see someone a lot younger?
10 years ago, did you ever think that you could charge something on your phone at a cash register or
Let me ask you a question. Do you think the capabilities that your phone can do. What percentage do you think you use of the capability of your phone?
5%.
Okay.
I don't know half the stuff on
Then
the
that's
stuff.
your answer.
Yeah.
So think about this. You're happy at 5%.
Right.
Imagine the kid that is just wheeling and dealing. And that's why when they have these phones at $1,100, $1,200, they're not blinking an eye because it does everything for them.
Right.
Us, it just answers the phone. We're looking at it like, wow, isn't this?
No.
Has a calendar, has this.
You know, people call me and say you have notification on silent. I don't know that. I have to call my son,
Right.
who's tech savvy, and say, how do I get
Did you
this off
see the picture going around where it showed you 40 years ago phone booths? Like if you went to a
Yeah.
restaurant and all the phone booths that you could close the door, there was like, you know how generally there's like 15 in a row,
Yeah.
and you go into the phone booth and there's 15 of them? They now showed you today's phone booth. It's 15 toilet stalls that someone is in there
That's
with their
funny.
phone,
Yeah.
because now it's common for people to bring their phone to the toilet.
So what percentage of the stuff on the phone do you think you use?
20%.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
20%. I have all my appointments would be in there.
You have a calendar
I
set.
have my calendar set up.
Wow.
Everything's done like that, just everything's on there.
Well, you don't sleep, so you don't have an alarm on there.
Don't have I do have I have a thing that I program, tells you when I should go to sleep and when I don't. So it always buzzes like 4 hours before I go to sleep to let me know I'm
Do you ever have your phone on silent? You know where?
Yeah,
it's
right
not-
now during the show.
Oh, I wouldn't know. So
You just
so
push the button.
you know how, if you go in to see a theater show, you know how to put your phone on silent so that it doesn't ring in the middle.
You know
of
the volume
theater?
button?
Yeah.
Just push that button. Hold it in for 1 second and it goes to silent. I mean, all these things aren't complicated. That's
It's
why
just
people
too
can go through.
complicated for me.
Can you spread your keyboard? You could spread your keyboard out and use 2 fingers if you.
can't
There's so
do
much
that.
stuff, but anyway, it doesn't matter to you because you're happy at 5%.
Yeah, I am. I'm generally
Okay.
happy. The only thing I'm not happy with on my phone is when I'm really struggling with the life of my battery and I don't know what applications are on, open, or whatever the word is, that it's dragging my battery down quickly during the day.
I'll show you after the show.
Okay.
But
Well, I turned mine off for the show.
right, you have to turn your whole phone
Yeah,
off.
I
Well,
shut it
because
off.
right, okay. But put it this way: on Apple TVs that are coming up,
Right?
on your TV, use the same thing. You don't even use your TV to all the capabilities that it can do.
No.
Now imagine if Apple was simple, that you're like, and you could just do so much more out of it. Like right now, if you're watching something on Netflix, and you want to now jump to a baseball thing, you have to get out of that streaming service and go into another streaming.
Right.
You can't just go back and forth.
I know, it's horrible.
Now, what happens if Apple says you can just go from
love
Netflix
it.
to that might make you buy a TV?
Yeah.
Okay, because right now, if you're watching the news and you want to go back and forth, you can't. You have to get out of the streaming service, wait for the thing.
100%.
Okay.
If I'm watching YouTube, let's say one of the shows that I watch is The Skinny with Joey Merlino, great show on YouTube. And then it's 9 o'clock and I want to go, let's say, to Fox to watch.
You have
the
to get out of your streaming.
I know. It drives me insane.
Now,
And
what
then I
I'm-
lose my spot. I think if you go back to it within an hour, it gives you your same spot.
Not
If
really. It will go back and it'll tell you resume if you know how to do
Oh,
that.
I don't know
but
how to do
forget
that.
the resume. But forget that. I know because you don't. But you can resume. But the point is, you still have to leave and come back. Now, what happens if Apple says to you, you don't have to worry about that?
That's great. I'm buying an Apple TV.
Right. I mean, look, they're talking to a generation that we didn't have remote control. It had that big clicking thing. We used to get up to change the channel, and we had black and white TV.
Well, not only that, Govy, when you got rid of your TV set, you need 3 friends to carry it out of the house.
They did.
Now you can do it with a 75-inch TV by yourself, you know?
Well, you used to call a TV repair guy.
right.
Now you see a little light that's going in the little corner of your screen. You could have an 85-inch TV, and in one little corner there's this little light, and the guy will say, "Got to get a new one."
Right.
I mean, so there's no fixing of these sets
Right,
anymore.
that whole generation of TV repairmen are gone.
The only thing I can recommend is you get the warranty, the extended warranty on all because if your TV breaks within a year, after a year, and you still have 5 more years, it's just
So I bought a new TV. I don't know if
3,000?
Costco. No, new TV at Costco for like an extra TV at Costco. It was 55 inches. I walked into Costco. It was $279.
Right, because Costco has different series. So, for instance,
And they were all lined up. It looked good
because
enough
they
to
have
me.
like a 5 series Samsung, and
Yeah.
Samsung could go up to 6 series, 7, 8. It's like a BMW. You can get the 3 series BMW, and then they make the 850.
But for $279, why am I buying the extended warranty? Next year they'll have a better TV, and I'll go buy that one.
It could, but I'm just
Right.
they. That's why TVs aren't that. That's why I don't understand why these people during the Thanksgiving thing they'll kill you for a TV set. It's
I
like
know, it's crazy. One thing I wanted to talk about, which I thought was remarkable this week, was they came out with the results of how Ozzy Osbourne and Hulk Hogan died. And they both, claiming to the autopsy, both died
Heart.
from coronary heart disease.
yeah.
That these guys in today's age, doing all the steroids and drugs that they did their whole life, and being in an advanced stage of 71 and 75 or 6, they didn't know that they had plaque and they didn't know that they had blockages in their body. Can you believe that?
Well, I can. Let me ask you a question.
I mean, you go to the doctor every week for whatever
No,
you.
I don't go every week. I'm going to just turn it around. I'm going to ask my friend. I have this friend that's a diabetic.
Right.
How old was this? Do you know how old this friend of mine was when he found out he was?
Me.
It was you.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Did you have a doctor before that?
I did, but I knew I had a problem. I just didn't want to have to deal with searching and getting medication all the time.
Well, then you
know.
answered your question.
Yeah.
Because
No, if I have a heart issue where I can't breathe or I can't.
but
walk,
diabetes is okay. Diabetes, it's
No,
okay.
diabetes is bad, but it's. I guess the answer to that is if you have diabetes, it's a complete lifestyle change in terms of every single thing.
So you
that
just want to
do
hold
when you-
off, not
yeah,
do the life.
I wanted to eat the
So
cake.
then you're the
and
same person as like maybe.
I wanted to do all the same crap, eat the drink and eat the cake.
Well, let me ask you a
and-
question. Coronary heart disease. Don't you think that's a life change too? They might tell him that he can't eat like cheesesteaks.
No, you go get a stent, or you get your, a roto-rooter job. You get your veins cleaned out, or you get bypass surgery. You lose some weight, but it's not like a diabetic where everything changes.
Well, listen, it is what it is. Like
Yeah.
every disease is different. If you went up to a person 71 and said, "Listen, you can go until 91. You want to change?" Maybe they could have.
I just find it's like Joe Biden. He has prostate cancer and he doesn't know
That,
it.
that doesn't make sense to
I
me.
mean, how can you be the president of the United States where literally there is a physician that is 100 yards from you every day and checks you, looks at you and checks your pulse? How does he not know he has prostate cancer for 5 years or whatever?
Well, how can a guy that's older than 60, tell you that he's never had a colonoscopy before? All you have to do is get your colonoscopy, and it can tell you a lot of stuff early.
Well, you don't even have to do that anymore. You can get that, toilet paper that you send away.
You can't get any easier.
Cologuard, it's
Right.
called.
There's-
Cologuard,
right,
which
right.
is like 98% accurate.
Right. I'm saying there is ways that you could, you can do that. Anyway, got to run one thing by you.
Go ahead, Gabby.
This-
Run 2 things by
This,
me.
this WNBA thing. So
Great. All right. So it's the women's basketball, professional women's basketball for
that are
those
now
who-
finally catching on fire that people want to watch it. They hate the Golden Goose and this Caitlin Clark. She's hurt now. The ratings are in the tank. The other day, a girl, her wig fell off. She ran into the dressing room, never to return to the game. There was a fan that laughed at her wig that came off. The way the WNBA handled it is they threw the fan out of the arena for laughing, which I think is ridiculous. So 3 days later,
How did they identify that fan?
because they pointed it out, the
Right.
fan that was laughing.
and they chucked her
and
out
they-
of the arena.
No, they chucked him out, the kid.
Okay, the
It was a
kid.
young kid.
Okay.
They saw he was laughing.
And where do you feel? How do you fall on that?
If someone's wig came off and they had to run into a locker room never to return, I'm laughing too.
Okay.
I mean, I find it pretty funny. It's like
Right.
a little slapsticky
Right.
to me. Don't wear a wig. What can I tell you? So then 2 days later, an 18-year-old kid threw a green lime rubber dildo onto the court. And the players and the
So I guess let's back up. So many of these WNBA players are lesbian, right?
right.
Okay, so I guess that's the take on the dildo.
Yeah, I
Or
guess.
Am I picking that up right?
And
or
it's a
no?
sex toy for that
Sex
girls
toy.
that girls use.
that girls use.
There's really not that many sex toys for guys. Like girls, this is the average girl probably has 3 sex toys. I guess that's
Right.
what Doc Johnson's basically
Right.
says. So they throw this dildo out onto the court. the announcers, they don't even want to show it. They're talking like it's a loose turd on the court, and they have to come with a special like glove to pick it up, and like they're putting it away like it's a dead bat. So they then threw the fan out. They didn't just throw the fan out. They arrested him. They arrested a fan for throwing this out. So what happens?
What is the crime?
Throwing a dildo onto the court.
Or maybe disrupting a game or a foreign
All of a
object or
sudden, now
something.
that they arrested him, the past week, 3 games, the green dildos are coming out. So the Florida Panthers hockey team, they throw these plastic rats onto the ice after goals, after games. In Detroit, they're throwing the octopuses onto the octopi onto the ice for the Detroit Red Wings. The WNBA is now getting the thing, green lime dildos, and they think by throwing and arresting fans, it's going to stop. They are now going to be, how many people are buying green lime dildos? I think it's kind of fun.
Are they selling them at the stadium?
No, they're selling them outside the stadium.
Oh, that's funny. But when they walk in the stadium, they can't like confiscate them, or they hide
What are they
them?
doing, searching you for a green lime
I
dildo?
guess not.
I think it's kind of funny that they do that. And that's where women, it's like, it leads me into Sydney Sweeney. Here's the girl. By the way, I don't even think she's that great looking.
She's good looking.
But she's a pretty girl that's like healthy looking,
Yeah.
Natural beauty. And
She
all
looks a lot older than she really is.
But they waited for the whole country to rip her on this jeans thing. Yet Beyonce comes out 3 days later wearing a sexy jeans. And that's now okay, which they kind of put them in a funny thing because now how can that be fine and Sweeney? It's not. And you turn it around and you sit there and you say to yourself, man, they get caught up in all this stuff. Like, for instance, Brooke Shields, when she did her Jordache jeans, I think it was, and she said there's nothing that gets between me and my Jordache jeans, she was 13 years old topless during that commercial. A 13-year-old girl doing that, they could arrest those people for even filming that.
Well, remember All in the Family? I mean, things were so different back then with Archie Bunker and the stuff.
Well, it's what we did. Well, let me ask you a question. I'll ask you two. I'll ask you two. Elvis Presley was with a 13-year-old in Priscilla Presley.
That's true.
In today's times, if a guy who was the most eligible superstar bachelor in the world that couldn't go anywhere, and he said, I want the 13-year-old. Today, they would look at you and lock you up that you have a problem, you're a pedophile. But for Priscilla Presley, it was okay. Jerry Lee Lewis would have been a rapist today. It was okay with him.
Well, what you're basically saying is, as we get older, the world's becoming more conservative and tuned into these improprieties?
No, it's choosing what they want to be conservative of and what they're not. It's like all of a sudden you're picking and choosing. If it's Beyonce, it's okay. If it's Sydney Sweeney, she's a Nazi. I mean, a Nazi. American Eagle is owned by a Jewish company. And by the way, the word Nazi is now thrown out where, do you know how blacks use the N-word to refer to each other? It's going to start being that people are going to start saying, hey, to Jews are going to start saying, hey, Nazi, hey, Nazi. Like, we're going to start calling each other Nazis because between the word Hitler, Nazi, Holocaust is such a... It's disgusting to Jews that know. When they try to compare Alligator Alcatraz to a concentration camp, it's offensive because it's not a concentration camp. They didn't lead these people into gas chambers and kill them. They're complaining that a mosquito came into the tent.
So assuming you run an advertising agency today, I mean, do you think that they do groups to try and see if their message is going to meet the standard of today, focus groups, whether they... I should ask my friend who owns Mod Worldwide if they're doing that, just so they don't screw up like Bud Light did. And
remember we talked about the Jaguar commercial?
Yeah,
we mentioned
do
that.
they run focus groups to make sure?
I'm not sure. I'm going to tell you where NBC is making and Brian Roberts is making.
He doesn't have anything to do with any of this.
But I'll tell you what he's doing tonight. That's just the thing tonight. On Jimmy Fallon tonight, the guest is Greg Gutfeld from Fox.
That's smart.
And they're now trying to show, because, by the way, Colbert's gone. They are now basically saying, let me show you. You can't go any more the other way than getting a Fox. And by the way, who has the highest rated talk show at night is Greg Gutfeld. So now you might get a bunch of people that watch that show tonight. And maybe Jimmy Fallon, because Jimmy Kimmel is done. And
Jimmy Fallon's, stone cold talented.
Very talented. The other ones aren't.
I saw him with Billy Joel singing a song the other day.
And Bono and all of them.
I mean,
Neil
he's
Young.
Great. He's really great.
He's the most talented out of all of them.
Yeah, he's very talented.
The reason why he got surpassed is the other two went with the Trump stuff. Jimmy Kimmel's going to be gone. Seth Meyers is going to be gone. Oprah Winfrey's best friend on CBS is what's her name?
Right, Gayle King.
Gayle King. She's done. They're firing her. Howard Stern. So
Yeah,
long.
how about Howard Stern?
$100 million.
Is Beth Ostrowski going to leave him now that he's, you know?
No, because he's a billionaire over. I mean, you know, so he's not doing anything. So
anyway, Govy, our show, it's like we're over time, but obviously our big audience here can see Gavy's off of meds. He's back, baby.
you know, I'm leaving off. I mean, Kelly, by the way, just before we came on, Kelly Clarkson's.
We're going to have to pay extra. It's coming out of your share, Govy,
Kelly
not
Clarkson's
mine.
husband died. She had to
Really?
she had to cancel her
How old was he?
young 40s.
An accident or he died
No,
from
cancer.
heart? Oh,
And they just got divorced. And
Oh,
she
got
was
divorced.
she was in Vegas doing her show. She's doing one of those like resident program. She had to leave because she said she had a family emergency, and all of a sudden he died of cancer.
Well,
That's Reba McEntire's stepson.
She knew he had cancer, right?
I don't think so.
Oh wow.
Kind of crazy. Anyway,
folks, what a fun show. We talked everything. Gavy's back, baby. He's on the mend. He doesn't have the boot. He doesn't have his medicine.
Big story is next week we're going to know.
Doesn't have his opioids in
We're
him.
going to know if Cutty went on a boat ride with the 22-year-old.
No, I mean, Govy, you know, you automatically throw, you know, the girl's a hooker just because
45 years younger than you? Yeah.
Come on, I'm funny.
You're funny. Got those blue eyes going, you know.
Oh, God, Govy, please help me. Anyway, folks, have a great week.
We'll talk to you. See ya.